Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Go check out my website at skysworld.com for life coaching and mentoring. Let's talk about self-sabotage. Why do we do that? We can be our own worst enemies. You've heard that cliche. It's true. It's absolutely true. Jordan Peterson talks about this in one of my favorite speeches that he gives, and he says, stop saying things that make you feel weak. We all have an inner dialogue, but even just the words that you say when you talk to other people, you may find yourself speaking in a way that is actually making you feel weak. You're weakening yourself with your own words. We do this directly through self-deprecation, being too hard on ourselves. We can be our own worst critics. I know I can be. And that does weaken you. You start telling people how much of a loser you are, how stupid you are, how you're destined for failure. You came from shit, you're going to shit. Oh, people like you don't ever go anywhere. I used to have these dialogues not only just in my own head, but I would say this stuff to other people, I guess as an excuse or who knows why. So it's important to get on top of your self-talk, and I talk about self-talk a lot on here. Self-talk is not only the inner dialogue that you have inside your head, that voice that runs its mouth, or the many different voices. Sometimes we have a whole cornucopia, is a word I don't use much, of voices inside our heads that just non-stop just bring us down, talk nonsense, distract us. So you have to get on top of that, and you can do that through meditation. But then there's also not just self-talk, which is our own silent voice inside our head, but there's the way that we describe ourselves to the world. You spend your life introducing yourself, whether it be at job interviews or in meetings with people or wherever. You spend a lot of time presenting yourself to the world. Some of how we present ourselves is through our fashion, through our image, through how you walk, how you cut your hair, those types of things. Maybe what car you drive, I don't know. Depends on how pretentious you are. But the way that we talk, communication is so important for humans. The way that we talk, the way that we describe the world, this all may make us weak. We may be just describing the world as a very overwhelming, dangerous place with ourselves being powerless within it. And if that's our narrative and that's how we describe the world, then sure, you navigate through it like a rabbit dashing from bush to bush, like a complete weakling, just afraid. You may always be in a self-defense mode because of how you talk to yourself, because how you talk to other people, because of how you describe the world and how you describe yourself. Words matter. You got to be careful what you say. What you say creates your reality in a large respect because you're paying attention to yourself. A lot of people believe what they say. So you either have to stop believing everything you say, which turns yourself into a weird hypocrite, liar, shell of a person, or you have to watch what you say and be very calculated and careful on how you talk. And you're doing this in order to keep yourself grounded. You want to speak in alignment with your highest good. So even if you're speaking about bad topics, be careful of how you talk. When you're thinking about the future or the past, you're plotting and scheming, or you're sitting around reminiscing. Be careful how you think. And if thoughts come up to where you feel weak, sometimes you can feel that weakness if you're very conscious of your levels. You know what I mean? Where, say, you're very conscious of the level of emotion that you're attached attaching to each one of your thoughts. And if you find yourself getting too overly emotional, too attached to certain ideas, I'm not talking about being too passionate. Passion's okay. But you want to keep your thoughts in line, like a herd of sheep. You don't want them to get away from you. You want to employ a little sheepdog that runs around those sheep, runs around those thoughts, keeping them in line, barking at the bad ones, barking at the ones that are going against your alignment with your highest good. And this type of stuff the negativity will creep into your mindset, creep into your speech, whether it be conversations with others or the inner dialogue. And you have to continually stay on top of this. I learned this a long time ago, but I still actively practice this, of to stop saying things that make me feel weak. I find myself doing it less now than I used to, but still frequently. "95% of your internal dialogue is going to be nonsense, bullshit. It's going to be sabotage against you." Someone like Jordan Peterson can talk about that in particular for an hour, 2 hours. Why, as a creature, are we sabotaging ourselves? It almost feels like that we're struggling for survival, but we're at the same time hell-bent on our own doom. I'm not really sure what that's about. Maybe that's in a separate video. But all of this starts with recognizing our own behavior. This is about detachment. It's an aspect of Stoicism, and it's an aspect of Taoism, where you stay slightly detached from yourself and you live in the realm of the observer. I talk about this in the new book that I just wrote, The Art of Survival. The realm of the observer versus the realm of the experiencer. You've been living as the experiencer your whole life, and it's not working. It's making you weaker. You need to detach and become the observer. It doesn't make you a robot. You still experience the joys of sunsets and how wonderful ice cream tastes and all that stuff, but you're slightly detached to monitor yourself, to make sure that you're on the right track, that you're pushing forward towards your highest good. It's all food for thought.